jump in the back of the pickup truck and join us for a ride back to the good old days.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
A nostalgic podcast based on entertainment and memories from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Come with us and revisit the best time ever. So jump on your BMX bike, pop a heavy metal tape into your Walkman, and hang on tight while you go back to the past with us.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hey all, welcome to Pastimes at 80s High, the cast that takes you back. We are going to do another good one for you today where we are actually going to take you back and do lots of things, you know, that we did, owned, said, just things back from the good old days that, you know, maybe you wouldn't see so much today, if you will. But as always, at first, I shall introduce the boys. Hello, brother.
Hey, AJ, how you doing today, man?
Good, good, thank you. Dongo.
What's happening?
Hello, I saw. Kev.
Hello.
Hello, and I am AJ. As always, we like to get started right out of the gate here at Pastimes at 80s High. But with that being said, Kevin, you always like to give the shout outs to our fans and listeners out there.
Absolutely. So cool to see all these people joining us all over this globe. Today we've got folks in Irricana, Alberta, I think maybe a little north of us, Belmont, North Carolina, and Ljubljana, Slovenia. Maybe something like that. And Greensboro, PA. As well.
Awesome.
Welcome, friends. Glad to have you here.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you all. We can't appreciate that more. I can't wait to go back through and put all these new listeners into one skit. and then put the bitching in about the pronunciations we all say. Awesome.
My own Archie Bunker clip of mispronouncing.
Yeah, well, hey.
You pronounce it like you see it, right?
Yeah, I try,
Right.
but you know,
Right.
it's hard when there's like 47 consonants and one vowel to pronounce a place, you know? I mean, nothing against anybody's alphabet or any of that, but it's kind of
Right.
difficult growing up in the States to turn all those consonants into one.
Right. Not knowing
One
which
word.
ones are silent and which ones are, you know.
What did you say to me? I'm sorry. I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I don't want any hachana on my sandwich.
Yeah.
I got the hach down pretty good from the Lebanese
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Mark, you're going to get the honors today.
All right. Well, I'm a child of the 70s. I mean, I turned 16 in 1980, but these are all going to be from Littleton, New Hampshire. And the first one is put some butter on it. And if you guys remember, when you would burn yourself, your parents would put butter on your burn, and it made it worse, if I recall. And I don't know if that's Donnie, that's never come back around. Am I right?
No.
How stupid we were to do that. But I mean, we're probably doing things today that we're going to look back on.
Right.
But
That's what they used to put leeches on people, and they still
True.
do that. in
True.
some-
I
Really?
assume the butter would be more sanitary than what I was told, which was rub some dirt in it.
Rub dirt
Exactly,
on it.
yeah.
Right.
you know what really helped me? One day, my first year in business, I was getting really tired. It was the end of the day. It was twilight hours. And I put my hand on the muffler of the walk behind I was using,
Ooh.
and it was the most pain I've ever been in. I mean, oh my God.
Why did you put your hand on the muffler?
Because I leaned down on it. I used it for balance, and I guess what? I've never done it again. So, but anyway,
Right.
I got home. I mean, I was in tears on the way home. And anyway, my Valerie, she called a friend of ours, and he said, put a hand gauze on it, or like wrap the cloth around your hand, and the next day there was hardly any pain at all. So,
well, if you put some butter on it, then you could have fried an egg.
That's true. No shit, that's a good one. So yeah, put some butter on it, and
well, I got another line for you, Mark, for the muffler that they used to say. Well, you won't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some show where a kid was like putting a butter knife, and the mother's like, "No, don't, no," and the dad's like, "No, let him do it."
Don't do that, sweetheart. It's dangerous.
No, wait. Well, go on. Yeah. Bet you're not going to do that again now, are you?
Right.
He'll never do that again.
Yeah, that was Christopher Titus's show.
Yeah.
Yep, that was good. Stacy Keach.
Awesome. Learn the hard way.
Yeah, your mom's like, "Oh my God, don't let him do that," and Dad's like, "Let him learn."
Exactly.
Which is, let's face it, a better method. Yeah, unless you're swinging a chainsaw between your legs.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to learn from it and really learn from it, and you're going to be okay, then
All right.
let them learn from it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's off to me. Number 7 here. I'm going with a basic one. And this is where I had texted you boys last night about how some of these could go into several tie-ins, which hopefully I don't ruin anyone's by saying them. If I do, I'll edit mine out. But I'm going back to payphones / rotary phones, the things that we did with them through the ages, as far as, first of all, you're hard pressed to see a payphone nowadays. We still actually, where I work, there's a plate on the wall where one existed for years. But just the fact that, being out at night and needing a ride home, if you didn't have a friggin' dime, you'd have to pick the phone up, dial the operator, and make a collect call.
Yep.
And then as they're saying, "Will you accept a collect call from AJ?" You would say, "No, would you accept a collect call from," you'd say, "Pick me up at Fun Spot." and they could deny the call so that it didn't have to be paid for. And that's how you told your parents to come pick you up.
Operator, I'd like to make a collect call, please. First name Bob, last name is We Otta Baby Eats a Boy.
Hello?
Collect call for Mr. Bob. We Otta Baby Eats a Boy.
Sorry, wrong number.
Who's that, dear?
Bob, they had a baby. It's a boy.
Oh.
The rotary phone that if you fuck the number up, you got to start all over. No backspaces. The 900 numbers that, not just porn people, but they had a 900 number for everything on the friggin' planet. And then the other thing that I want to say about them is the phone numbers, just the memories on us as kids. I'm not going to chant them off right now, but Dongo, 528-4395. I can wrap off every one of my friends as a kid's phone number. 524-6254 was Guilford. It's amazing.
1360 was Norm Godboot.
Exactly. We had that Rolodex in our friggin' head, or we used the phone book.
And just hit contacts now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's phone number.
I don't know
AJ,
my daughter's.
Do you remember Miss Cleo's number?
No, I don't.
Cleo.
Oh, you're talking about the 900 numbers.
Oh yeah, Miss Cleo. I don't even. It's sad. I don't know how to get in touch with my daughters if my phone dies. That's heart-wrenching.
Well, then you might want to study the number.
Yeah, you get the point, though.
I got your point.
Payphones. You're not going to see them around anymore. All right,
well,
Don.
I'm going to look for them now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Well, that's her first double because my first number 7 was corded wall phones.
Yes.
And it was the very same, a lot of the same talking points, but, just the busy signal. So you knew that somebody was on the phone and you weren't interrupting them. You couldn't interrupt them because in my childhood, there was no call waiting. There was no, what was it when you could hang it up real quick and switch calls kind of thing?
That's call waiting, right?
Yeah. There was none of that. There was no caller ID. There was none of that. But
you just
like
got angered,
which is great. I mean, think about it. Would you pick up a phone today if you didn't know who it was? You know what I mean? It's
right. Yeah.
It's so insane
you
that
never knew who was calling you. And they didn't have the near numbers of robocalls that we do now, but
true.
But I also like the fact that you were tethered to it for one. That was kind of crazy. But every kid's nightmare was someone calling and then your parents telling him, "Oh, he's in the bathroom" or something like that.
Sorry, Donnie's taking a shit.
We thought there were just girls in there. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's just us dudes. Here.
What are you doing here?
Jerry was just taking a shit.
No, what I meant was... No. What I meant was, what are you doing at the party?
Oh, it's on my house.
This is your party?
People who answer the phone probably when they're taking a dump nowadays. You'd never know the difference. Maybe an echo in the background or something. You could be like, "Are you in the bathroom?" But back then it would be like, "Don't tell him I'm in the bathroom."
Oh God, I mean, nobody has to go to the bathroom. Don't let no.
Yeah.
Girls never have to go.
Another thing about phones too, where if it rang and rang and rang, and before answering machines, because you were rich if you had an answering machine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you weren't home, and then whoever was, if I was trying to call somebody and it rang, I would just be like, "Oh, they're not home. I'm gonna move on and get them next time." But now it's like if someone doesn't answer you or respond to you, you're pissed. You're I know they're home. I know, like a text message that goes unread, or now you can see oh, they read my text message, but they didn't answer me. Why the fuck aren't they answering me? So it pisses you off. But I mean, back then it was like, "Oh, can't get through. Move on to the next person," or
especially when you pay their phone bill.
Yeah, right.
Like your kids.
When I grew up in Littleton, we only had to hit the 4 numbers. I mean, if it was in town,
not even the exchange.
444.
I had a party line in Massachusetts very early, remembering it was when I was very young, that it would be a different ring for the neighbor.
Right.
So because you had to rent the phone. You rented the phone from Ma Bell,
Yeah, and if you called one town over, it was a toll call. So I'm sorry if I met somebody in the next town over, it's like, "Hey, great meeting you. Have a good life." I'm not allowed to make toll calls.
Right.
Like my father would have shelled out 50 cents for me to call a girl in Dover.
Right.
No fucking way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then how long would you talk? And that call added up and added up and added up.
Yeah.
And if you were a lucky household, your parents bought the extra long cord.
Right.
So you could stretch it down to the bedroom.
Yeah. Or you just stretch the fluff out of it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Cav.
All right. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm going to move away from payphones. Thought maybe we could, get it all.
I thought that's what this podcast was about today.
Yeah, it's a payphone podcast
episode.
No, I'm going right to the heart of the matter, and I'm going to go with movies. Whether it was the drive-in or just going to the theater, it meant something then. Mm-hmm. It was a shared experience because, like we've talked about before, there wasn't 87 different streaming channels that you went to school the next day and you all saw Goonies that weekend.
Go join your friends, you wiggles.
I mean, that was it, because that was the movie that was out, Yes. So like I said, it was that shared experience, and it meant something to go to the movies. It's not like we get now where you sit down and it takes you 20 minutes to figure out which streaming service you're going to look at. And then once you get to that narrowed down, then you got to figure out what you want to watch. Or my personal favorite, you go to watch the next episode of a series that you were watching, and nowhere does it have, like, you think I watched this the last 3 nights in a row. I watched episode 1, 2, and 3. Netflix, do you think there's a chance that maybe I turn on the TV and I want to watch episode 4? Maybe you may put that right up front so I can continue, not bury it underneath fucking 300 movies that I don't want to see because I've never watched anything. You know what I mean? It's like you got to sift through 400 romance movies to get to, whatever you're watching. It's like, why not just here?
Right.
Bring it up first.
Yeah.
You know this is what I'm watching.
But
Let me have it.
Something you said, Kev, was you saw the Goonies Friday night. And then Monday, that discussion,
yes,
everyone saw the same effing thing and you talked about it. Lines came out of it forever,
Yeah. And when you're in a movie theater,
we still use them.
You're watching the movie. You watch the movie. If you're at home and the movie kind of starts to lose your attention, you just go to your phone and, you're not going to be into it as much. I mean, there's very few movies nowadays that will grab you to the point where you're like, oh, I'm going to put my phone down, like a lot of them are just background noise now.
Exactly. Garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were kids, the biggest thing was going to the matinees on Saturday, 75 cents.
Nope.
Just Swiss Family Robinson, stuff like that. Godzilla versus Megalon, as I brought up, but that was a big deal. That was so much fun for everybody.
Absolutely. It was a pastime. At
80s High.
Yes, good one.
Hey, I'm right on top of things.
All right, Kev, you good to go on that? I didn't want to cut you off there.
Yep.
All right, brother. What you got?
Okay, I'm going with playing board games in the back of a station wagon. When we were
Two
kids,
in one.
Yeah, because we would, go on trips with like the Silvers and us, and we'd be bored. We'd be just sitting in the back, way in the back, no seats, of course, and we'd play board games, stuff like that. And it's nothing you'd see today. That's for damn sure. Now kids just sit down with their 22 seat belts and they watch movies.
Right. You get pulled over. They don't even ticketed or whatever. Yeah.
You wouldn't even freaking. They don't even see what's in. You go by some beautiful sights and everything. They wouldn't even notice they're watching a friggin' movie. But that was just really kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was kind of you remember who you were with and everything. And back then, station wagons were really big. The 70s, the cars were huge back then.
Hi, this is my new Chevy wagon with flip-down seats. The 74 Caprice Estate. And this? Well, she's my mother. The divided second seat folds right down. And when you pull a lever, the third seat back flops over. And Chevrolet made it so you can operate all the seats from the same door. And this is the Glideway tailgate we ordered. You just turn the key, ta-da, it opens.
The 74 Caprice Estate Wagon from Chevrolet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And paneled.
Like a 17-foot trunk.
Exactly. And that ties into so many different things, Mark, that I won't get into. But if you think about that, like that one activity, just, no seatbelts.
Yeah.
Board games. No cell phones. Like you're hanging out.
Right.
Yeah. God forbid. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Now, if I don't have my cell phone, it's like losing your wallet,
or worse.
And
yeah,
it's crazy how things change, and not necessarily for the better, So, but that's what I had for this pick, and
nice.
I got a million of them.
All right. So to me, and I'm going to. An obvious again. Most of mine are going to be pretty obvious, but I started out by calling it BMX bikes. But that's just because that's what I rode, and most of the kids my age, that's what they rode back in the day. But you didn't wear a friggin' helmet. You took the pads off it, or you were a friggin' pencil neck geek, and you went miles and miles and miles from home, just, explored the cities. And I'm not going to go too in detail with this because I feel like this could, tie into a lot of our picks. You rode your bikes everywhere. You weren't stuck, and no one gave a rat's ass where you were. You went and did your thing all friggin' day, and it was transport. Like, I can't tell you, now you see, the occasional young adult or grown-up on their fucking electric bike.
Oh, yeah.
To get to work because they get a DWI or something. But, I can't tell you the last time I saw 6 kids riding down the road on their on a highway, or a main road on their fucking bike. And boy, do I miss that.
So I was at Dollar General earlier today to get some 16-ounce cans of stuff. Anyway, when I was there was a bunch of kids on bikes, but they weren't, they were electric bikes. So they're these lazy-ass kids.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But they're kind of
pretty
cool,
easy
though.
Pretty easy to decipher who's biking for exercise. And who got a DWI.
Yeah, exactly.
Even before the e-bikes.
So easy.
Even before the e-bikes, it was pretty easy to tell, if they're wearing the spandex shorts, probably not a DWI.
Probably biking.
Yeah. If they got a 30-pack on the handlebar, I'm guessing DWI. You got to be careful and not get a BWI.
Yeah, right. No shit.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder that
take from
too.
you?
I'm surprised they're allowed to ride. They can go fucking 40 miles an hour now. How can they get away with that?
Problem because they go fast and there's been a lot of fatalities in the state.
Yeah, and when
with
you
the
could
e-bike stuff,
you couldn't drive a moped when you got a DWI back in the day.
Right.
Why can you ride one of
DWI
these?
on a moped.
Yeah. And it's if you're going that fast, you should be following the rules of the road, but they're on sidewalks and
Well, it should be on the road. And I don't say much because I'm not one for giving up freedoms, but I hate cyclists on the road. It's not because it's not
scary.
safe.
Right.
Yes. Is it legal for you to get your 10 speed or 18 speed out there on the highway? Sure. It's not the highway, but a 50-mile-an-hour road.
Right.
But you got to think about it.
Yeah.
When a tractor trailer goes by and you get sucked under the tires, how good are you feeling about, it's my right to bicycle out here? It scares the hell out of me is what it does.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that I'm going to have to make a choice between killing myself for somebody in oncoming traffic and killing you. Either way, I'm not going to feel good about it, but why you're putting me in that position?
Well, back then, the speed limit was a lot slower, too, so you didn't have to worry as much when you saw the 9 kids on their bikes.
Well, right now, the a lot of roads down here anyway, the shoulder's about 8 inches,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you always have to go into, especially going around a friggin' corner, a curve, It gets pretty scary. It gets a little hairy when you're going around and don't know what's coming on. Or should I wait?
Even people friggin' walking, you feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just common sense. That's all. It's so uncommon these days.
Uncommon sense.
Uncommon sense.
All right, Don, go.
All right. So this one's going to be a little strange, maybe, but it's I like maps. I like maps.
I do
and
too.
I miss maps.
Hey, Mike found a map. Yeah. Hey, look. That says 1632. Is that a year or something?
No, it's your top score on pole position.
Yes, it's a year, Chuck. Look, it's a map of our coastline.
What's all that Spanish junk right there?
Who knows? Mouth, you said you could translate. Translate, right here. Yeah, translate it.
Ye intruders beware.
The old Rand McNally.
I
hence your Halloween costume.
I traverse the entire country using a Rand McNally atlas, going from state to state, flipping the page. And it's, looking at it like, oh, that looks like that would be the fastest way as a crow fly, blah, 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 and figuring out the right routes, not knowing what was what. And I got there, and I enjoy that. I can't stand when you look up something on a cell phone and it just shows you the little screen and it shows the little pinpoint, but you can't get any perspective because it like, say you're looking for like something in Massachusetts or Boston, and it will just show you like downtown Boston, but you can't see anything around
exactly.
it. Like you only see like
of
a 1 square mile. It's like, I need to see the 50 square mile map, so I can see the where I am in relation to where I'm going and all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of that's lost because now people just plug in GPS.
Oh, I know.
It will take you there. And, but I like the looking at something and I want to go there and plot a route to it.
Yeah. But I think more importantly to your point, Dongo, is that back then we didn't have that luxury. We figured it out, right?
Right.
Meaning either with a paper map or just sense of friggin' direction. We knew where we were going. We knew it was going to take us hours to pedal there, but we did it. And we found our way home,
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at this generation, put a Rand McNally in a 5-speed car. And they'll never get anywhere. You know what I mean? That's an anti-theft device with the stick shift.
Yeah. Oh, that's what.
And then they won't be able to navigate. I mean, I remember not even having a Rand McNally. I mean, I did at one point, but not having it with me, and just being able. My dad made me find the way home just by highway signs,
right?
And
south,
figuring out north and south, and east and west, and routes and all that.
Yeah,
the town
and the sad part is I can't do that anymore because I punch it into the telephone. And
you could do it though if it boiled down.
If I had to, yes, come back to
you
me.
still have that.
But
sense.
it's like when the sun flare hits and we lose all that, it's like you're gonna be like, oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah. Don't throw out your map, okay?
Well, they suggest if you have a go bag to throw in a Rand McNally in that bad boy.
Damn right.
So when the GPS goes down,
when we have nothing,
Right.
again,
yeah.
It's gonna happen to people.
Yep.
Right. All right, Kev.
All right. Well, this was all about music and taking it with you, because the world changed when you could slap a cassette in a Walkman and put those headphones on, crank up your tunes, and look at your buddy. Am I talking too loud? What?
Exactly.
No, I get. Can you? Yeah, okay. Yep. No, I mean, there was a lot of that where you couldn't hear yourself and whatever, but it was great because you had a private, portable music experience.
Sony Walkman, you really feel the music with the Sony Walkman.
The Sony Walkman is a tiny stereo cassette player with truly incredible sound.
You really feel the music, you really feel it. You really feel the music.
Put on a Walkman and see the world in a whole new light.
Sony Walkman.
The Walkman from Sony, the one and only.
Because prior to that, what did we have? We all had the rack system. Mine was a Fisher and it had 15-inch subwoofers.
You weren't taking it with you.
You weren't taking that with you on your bicycle. You weren't going nowhere with that. Well, I took it to a few parties, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could just go out in the world with your tunes, and that was a game changer.
Incredible.
I remember listening
orange
to
headphones.
a Walkman for the first time and being like, "Whoa!" That's
with your
so
Def
awesome.
Leppard tape, Donnie.
It was Motley Crue. It was,
I thought it was
Motley
Def
Crue.
Leppard.
It was Shout Out the Devil.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was a Walkman, and I put it on. I was like, whoa, that's so amazing. It's so crystal clear, and
Yep, you got that stereo effect when you were.
Yeah.
A lot easier to walk with it than a boom box up on your shoulder.
Right. Or Ghetto Blaster as well.
Yeah.
That they were
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to go to an Audible next when I get to me then, Kev. But remember the orange foam, headphones. And then do you remember when Sony came out with the yellow one that was waterproof?
Yes.
Go ahead and
I
put
still
that
have
friggin'
that. I
thing
think I
underwater
still
and
have
you
that
tell
in
me
the
how
basement.
good it works.
Yeah.
I did eventually buy the stupidest one ever, which was the Disc Man. Because,
I had that.
Yes, let's have a spinning disc portable.
Right. And then you had the cassette thing that you could use your car. So the disc would go into the cassette thing.
Right. Yeah, the adapter.
But it would skip like every
Exactly.
bump. Yeah.
If you sneezed.
The cassette cord.
Yes, the car didn't have to be running. You just sneezed and the CD would skip.
Exactly. Awesome. All right, Mark.
Okay, well, I'm gonna, this is gonna be a little darker now, unfortunately, because as we know, I grew up in Littleton, New Hampshire, which was, it was a rough town, especially Apthorpe.
Okay, no more gang wars between Bethlehem.
Okay, all right. Joking aside, we used to we'd get into neighborhood fights. They were almost like they would just. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like the Hatfields and the McCoys, but it would just be between. Pete Belmore was always on one of the Presley side, and I was always on one of the Presley side, and it would either be Fred and I or Kevin and I, and it would go on for days and days and days, and our parents just let us settle the differences. They, hey, they're kids.
That's what you did.
Don't worry.
That's what you did.
They want, and it was. I remember one time I'm like, hey Fred, I want to come over to your side. He said, okay. And there was another time me and Fred were in elementary school and at Lakeway, and he would be like, we'd be in line and he would just do little things, like grab my arm or whatever, and we wouldn't speak. And I don't know if other people got involved or not. I don't quite remember, but my biggest memory is I think that the whole battle ended at the Presley's house on Hadley Street, and there was Kevin and Fred right out in the driveway just fighting with Hot Wheel tracks, whipping each other in the face. It was unbelievable. But
the orange Hot Wheel tracks.
Yes, and nobody got involved back then. They let them do what they got to do. Yeah, what was that, Fred Senior? That's just Kevin whipping Freddie in the face with a Hot Wheel track. I mean,
that's got a smart.
Oh man!
But
I love those.
Yeah, I just don't think that would happen today. I don't believe so. Anyway, the parents would get involved in a half a second.
Yeah, I think just
to
make it relatable to back then, it's just exactly you worked your differences out with your friends / enemies or whoever it was. It was. I mean, I think that happened to all of us throughout the 70s and 80s. It was, the fist fights were left and right. Afterwards, you shook hands and all was good. All right. This is one that most people nowadays, I'm sure, have never heard of. But let's just go back about, what are we now, 5 years out of COVID? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now let's go back to the 70s and 80s. Throw a chicken pox party.
Hey, Homer, why the sour puss? Did you chug-a-lug a skunky snapple?
I don't know, maybe. Plus, my wife won't let me inside because the baby's got chicken pox.
Really? Do you mind if I bring my boys over so she can infect Rod and Todd?
Why would you do that? Are you a bad parent?
You see, Rod and Todd could only get the chicken pox once, and childhood's the safest time.
So you want Maggie to infect your kids?
You betcha. In fact, some parents have been known to hold pox parties so other kids in the neighborhood can get the disease when they please.
Chicken pox party.
Chicken pox. Yes, yes.
It was a thing. It was an absolute thing. And just going a little off the rails here, but shit that happened back then that you won't see now. No one masked up for these parties, people, because the whole friggin' point was to get all the kids together in a neighborhood and get them all sick at once so they could get it out of their system, build the immune system, and be good to go for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And just to think about that and watch what happened 5 years ago is just astronomical to me. And I actually remember them as a kid. And it took a couple reminders to me, like a year or two ago. It was a thing. You know what? Probably the better way to go about shit like that, in my opinion.
I think there was a Brady Bunch episode where they had a measles party, and now you got the counter on the news. Oh, there's 30 cases of measles in Texas or something like that, and it's like, okay, are we going to keep track of sniffles too?
Exactly.
I know.
Well, I have two things to say on this. First of all, AJ, I thought you were going to say chicken pot pie parties. I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember that. We just got the Mortons and the Swansons together, And the other thing, what's going to happen? Do you think we'll go through that again when turkey pox comes around? That's going to be a lot worse. Turkeys are a lot bigger. And, no, we'll all be wearing masks and petrified and locked in our houses.
Monkey pox.
Yeah, there was monkey.
It was right after COVID, and people were like, screw it, whatever. It went away, and then they changed it to Mpox, and then again, people were like, whatever, who cares, right?
Yeah, we're done with this.
Yeah, we're done with being scared, scared straight kind of thing.
What a
they like Fauci's
joke.
First single, but not really hot on his follow-up hit.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Takes for what's the line, Cab? I'm thinking of is you have your whole life to write your first record.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he had his whole life to have his
Chinese
first.
democracy,
Exactly. All right, Dongo.
All right. So mine is going to be just gathering in the woods, AKA pit parties, we used to call them.
Yes.
There was Lafayette Street in Laconia. There's the place in Meredith, and you guys would have to help me out. I think
Ghetto.
it's like near Plymouth Street. Yes, in Highland Street. Am I correct there?
Well, off of Plymouth Street and maybe Genis Hill, I think.
Yeah, but the ghetto. I do remember you calling it the ghetto. Yeah. And
the
just,
Hoyts.
Getting the fire going and just sitting, sometimes we'd haul a keg out there, like in Laconia or whatever, which is like, a feat now akin to like building the pyramids. It's like carrying a half barrel out into the woods. You know what I mean? And it would always be you were lucky if it was on ice. If it wasn't, then it was, pretty warm and foamy. Yeah,
we
the
didn't
foam
care.
was terrible, right? But it went down smooth, and we'd just hang out in the woods and sit around and shoot the shit. And I mean, now people would be bored stiff; they'd be on their phones. They wouldn't want to be out in the woods, that kind of stuff.
No, of course not.
So yeah, I miss the pit party days, just being outside.
Right. And how about those slides in the pits? Just sliding down them. Oh,
yeah,
so much fun. I have more to say about that, but I'm going to hold my tongue for a bit. Anyway, nice, Don. Okay, Kev.
All right, so we did the personal, the Walkman, and now the rude and impose your music on everybody else, as you said, Ghetto Blaster or Boombox.
Transport now to an old folks' home where the elderly are tossed on their brittle bones. The orderlies are stealing, there's no excuse. Every day for lunch they eat boiled goods. So I grabbed my boombox and hit the turbo bass. And what happened next was a total disgrace. Everybody started out on sex. The music was way too powerful. A bunch of old people feeling rabbits. It was disgusting to say the least. A boombox can change the world. You gotta know your limits with a boombox. But this was a cautionary tale. A boombox is not a toy.
But the cool thing about the boombox was it could also be your home stereo.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was allegedly portable. The ones we had weren't really, because they were like 85 pounds, but they did such a good job at like making the speakers look like impressive, even though they were the cheapest thing that they could find, but they had all the effects on them and you had all the view meters and they just packed a lot of stuff into those things, but it was really such a rude thing that, you just like,
now you yell at people when they drive by. Yeah. They must have really
What makes you
hated
think
us.
that the people within 2,000 feet want to hear the same thing you're listening to? I mean, it's pretty presumptuous. But
I had one that Hampton or something
that the speakers came off.
Yeah.
Detachable
If you
speakers.
put the handle in a certain orientation, the speakers would come off, and you can.
Yeah, but it was like 8 inches more thick.
right. It was wide. Yeah. Versus the ones that were like tall and
a producer
typically like the
tunes and a
breakdance
coffee
era.
table.
Yeah,
but
that was my truck radio for a while. I'm sorry, AJ. When my S10 that I had, the death trap there, the radio broke, so I would drive up and down with the friggin' my little boom box and put on tapes and whatever.
That took 8 double D batteries.
Yeah,
and it would last an hour.
Right. But adding an extra 5 pounds to it. Yeah.
But that was also, like you said, Kev, the home stereo, because especially when you could dub tapes when they put the 2 tape decks in.
Yes.
But you also had the radio tuner, which I'll leave alone. But anyway.
It might happen. Yeah, I forgot about the double cassette. And if you had the really advanced one, you could like do the high speed dubbing. And do a 60-minute cassette tape. You could copy it in 30 minutes.
Exactly. Half time.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Mark, it's to you.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember these, but I would go down to Ruggles Supermarket. It was a little supermarket right on the same block in Littleton, and every time you would buy something, the change would come out in that little tube or whatever, but you got S&H green stamps.
Ooh,
and
yes.
S&H green stamps, what you would do is you would collect them, and they would have a green stamp store down on Main Street in Littleton, and you go down there and you'd see how many green stamps you needed, and I think a lot of people remember that, and you don't see that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, and you could.
I remember.
It was kind of like the ticket counter at Fun Spot, if you think about it. But
basically,
you had to go like out of your way to go down and see what prize you could get for X amount of stamps. Or
and
did they give us money too once in a while? Like you get a quarter for like 18 dozen stamps.
I know, and even the last time I went up there with Ella and Fiona was still in Nicole's body at that time, but you all these tickets and you end up with like a $3 item, but that's not how S&H green stamps worked, mind you.
I'm getting a lot of great ideas. That's why S&H calls it the Idea Book. When do you see what I'm getting, Jack? You mean I can get all these things with S&H green stamps? Housewares, clocks, radios, board stuff, linens. They really do have everything. Well, what do you think? A Cuisinart for Jack? He's a great chef.
Here's to S&H green stamps.
And here's to the stores that give them.
S&H green stamps. Say make your money do more.
You'd go down, you get a toaster oven or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool.
They were awesome. I can still kind of picture it. The stamp, actually. All right. Here's another one that is not an uplifting one, but just a thing. And it's another one that I kind of tied into a few different areas. And it was smoking sections. Like, first of all, I think, Donnie, our last year in high school, which was 90, was it 2 years prior to that where they axed the smoking area?
I think so. I can't remember the time frame, but then we migrated into the bathroom.
Exactly.
Which, when you went into the
Smoking in
bathroom,
the
you had to be like,
boys' room.
cool. You'd be like, cool. And
Cool.
nobody would, if you didn't say cool, it was like, psst, psst.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And
all
then
the
you
butts go.
punch someone in the face if they didn't say it because you
thinking
just wasted
now,
a
I mean,
whole cigarette.
If you smoke a cigarette in, a room, you would smell it like that had to
I can't
reach
stand it, man.
forever,
Yeah.
But
But
they
back
had to
then-
know that was going on,
Oh, sure.
Our bathroom hallways were probably like 25 feet long, and it was all cinder block, and you always had to have a wooden pass to go to the bathroom. And so you had to scrape your pass to let people
Along the
know that you
wall.
were
All right.
safe,
That was the
because
code.
you would get your ass kicked if you walked around the corner and everybody was ditching their cigarettes into the toilet.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good day for you.
Right. Right.
I had a couple times where my buddy and I got sent to the office. So when you get sent to the office, you didn't have a wooden pass. So we got in trouble. I think it was a cooking class or something like that. And we decided to stop by the bathroom and smoke a butt on the way to the principal's office. Makes sense, right?
Of course.
So we had the paper passes, and we're like scraping those on the wall, going, it's us, you know what I mean? Because we didn't want to piss anybody off, make them throw out their butts. So we get in there, there's nobody in there. We're about halfway through smoking our cigarettes, and we had a vice principal, Mr. Was it Wright? I think it was Wright. He was like, this was his mission in life, to bust people for smoking. He was like taking his job way too serious back in 1986.
And he probably smoked in his office.
He probably did. I just remember there was, and I actually think it's my son's girlfriend's uncle. I think it was him. So the guy had a receding hairline, and he used to, when he saw him, he used to sing, "I see a forehead horizon," instead of "I see a bad moon rising." So anyway, he comes into the bathroom, and Tony and I are standing there smoking our butts, and he's like, "That's it, down to my office." All right. So we throw our butts out. We're walking down the hall. He goes, "Aren't you two in the same class? How are you both in the bathroom at the same time?" And then we pull out the little paper pass. Like, actually, we were on our way to see you.
Just a quick pit stop first.
He was super impressed.
In my yearbook, my high school yearbook, there's a picture of me smoking in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a thing of beauty. But it was airplanes too. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm sure because some of the planes are still so old that not long ago, the ashtrays are still in the armrests.
Right. Yeah.
Any restaurant, anywhere. It was just, that's why the smell wasn't so potent back then, just because everyone smelled like a fucking cigarette.
immune to
They
it.
didn't know it.
Yeah.
What a ludicrous concept that on a plane, you're in a big metal tube in the sky, but you can smoke here, but you can't smoke here. It's like,
The
does
pilot
the smoke know?
smoked.
Does the smoke know that it can't go past this line? I mean, it's like, it should have been smoking and less smoking.
I'll be brief on something that I want to say about this. Just what is ironic is back in the, you go back into the 60s, 50s, whatever. It seemed like the more affluent were the ones who smoked. And now, even with cigarettes being in some places $11 a pack, it's the,
insane.
the less affluent are smoking.
Right, yeah. That you were sophisticated back then.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And now,
you smoked.
the money that you would save if you quit, and that probably includes chewing too, I would guess.
Yes, sir.
So,
No, I mean, it's a
half time.
$300. That's a car payment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. I mean, even one pack a day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's a mortgage.
Yeah.
They might
Add
not kill you,
drinking
but
to
they'll
that,
make you
could have
poor.
a house on the lake. Right?
Not going to do that, Marge.
I was thinking you could cut back on your beer, Homer.
Not going to do that, Marge.
And now, a short commercial break.
Welcome to Halftime at 80s High. Want to just get a little info out there for you folks, including our website, which is pastimes at 80shigh.com. And that is 80S for 80s, pastimes at 80shigh.com. Shoot us an email at pta80h@gmail.com, pta80h@gmail.com. Love the feedback you've been sending. We can't appreciate it more. Check us out on all the socials, including our new Facebook, which is Pastimes at 80s High. And then for interaction, past timers at 80s High. Find us on all the major podcast platforms, including Spotify and Apple Podcast. And please remember that those 5-star reviews and the comments go a long way helping us move up that chain. So thank you so much. We couldn't appreciate it more. And now back to the scheduled broadcast. All right, Dongo, that's number 4 to you.
All right. So this one is kind of a twofer, sort of. It's one, paying face value for a ticket to a show. And the second is being able to wait in line or wait at the, to call in at, tickets go on sale at 9 a.m. Or, I'm either waiting outside on the parking lot, of the Ticketmaster or the box office or wherever you were going to buy your tickets through.
Sears.
Or tickets go on sale at 9 a.m. Yeah. At 9 a.m., you start dialing. Beep, beep, beep. Yep. Hang up, dial again. Beep, beep, beep. Hang up, dial again. Finally, you get through, and you had a chance to get decent tickets. I mean, they probably held like the front rows and all that for the scalper or whatever.
VIP.
But you at least could get in line, get on the phone and buy a concert ticket, face value price for a show. And now it's like you don't even consider doing that.
No.
You have to go through, there's somehow they just legalize scalping.
It's incredible.
That's exactly what they do.
The biggest companies out there have legalized it. Ticketmaster and Live Nation, same company. Right. It's legal through them.
It's bullshit,
Now, like for the football team or whatever, though, if the upside of that on Ticketmaster is if the team sucks, you're going to pay well below face value. In fact, you could get tickets to a Red Sox game for probably,
But go on, Don.
25% of the face value.
Huh.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah.
But keep going,
but
Donnie.
that was it. Yeah. Just waiting in line to buy a show, tickets to a show.
Yeah.
And you had some skin in the game, kind of to get a ticket.
Skin in the game. And nowadays it's still so fucking stupid how people will buy them right out of the gate. Like I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Iron Maiden who sells out every show once they're there. If you wait till the day of the concert, you are going to pay $300 less than the jackass sitting next to you paid.
Right.
And yet people are going on and spending hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars for these artists.
Yeah.
And it's just the pricing in itself is incredible. Because
you're taking a risk waiting for that day of the show, but if you're willing to do that, then it's not a big deal. Yeah, you can get in there.
To this day, I have still not gotten a ticket on the day of the show. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't going to see Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate to have a venue in our backyard, so we're not putting a lot of travel time into it. But if you were going down to Foxborough or something to a stadium show, and you're gonna get in. You're gonna get in if you want to.
AC/DC day of at Foxborough, you could get it like a $50 seat and sitting next to people paying $350, $400, $500. It's outrageous.
Well, don't forget, back then you could go to the mall and see Damone.
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
You the guy with the Van Halen tickets?
That could be.
How much you want for something in the first 10 rows?
$20 a piece.
Those tickets are only $12.50.
So don't buy them.
Come on, Arnold. All the other scalpers are sold out.
Scalper? Did you call me a scalper? Listen, gentlemen, I perform a service here, and the service costs money. Now, do you want the tickets or don't you?
Okay, we'll take them.
All right. What did I say, 25?
20.
Exactly. Or right outside the venue. I would just walk around until the guy's price came. I'd miss the opening act a lot, but I would get in at half the price from that dude, because what's he going to do? Use those tickets to, wipe himself?
Right.
Because they're junk as soon as that show starts. So
I remember buying Patriots tickets in I think it was Molten Borough. There was a store that sold Patriot stickers.
Yes, they were all over the place. Sears had the little window, little convenience stores, Front Row Ticket Agency. Like even then, it was like $100 for Front Row. But anyway,
Frank J. Russo Productions.
Frank J. Russo. I used to love those radio ads, man. Yeah. Awesome.
Almost as good as the funny cars under the stars. Sunday, 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 Sunday.
Live at the Worcester Centrum. Cheers. The greatest ads, man, on the radio. Awesome. All right, Kev.
All right. Well, I got to tell you, the bicycle was everything at that age. When we were that age that you could, I had a parking lot across the street from my house because it was the elementary school that I went to, and literally get up in the morning and ride that bicycle or have it with me until the sunset and pedal that thing all day long. And it was your transportation. It was your freedom. It was your seat. Because, you'd stop and you'd just be sitting on your bike and you'd all be talking. It was your GPS because that's how you found your friends.
Yep.
You're biking through the neighborhood and there's 5, mongooses laying on the lawn. You know where everybody is. And you just walk into the house and party's on. It was more than just a bicycle. And it's like, yeah, kids still ride them today, but not the way that we did.
No.
And they don't have the meaning that they had, I don't think, to us. Again, like I said, there was so much to it. I remember
it was our phone.
Yeah. The first time, like the street that I lived on was over 5 miles long. And I had a portion of that, or actually could do the whole thing when I was delivering papers. But beyond that, I wasn't allowed to do until a certain age. And I still have this vision in my mind of getting about a mile down the second road, the first time I was allowed to, on a 10-speed, and just feeling like freedom. Like nobody was within earshot. There wasn't, you know what I mean? No parents around, no older siblings, nothing. It was just me, and I was out in the world. Yes. And I was on my bicycle, and it was just an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. You were a king.
Yeah.
Just
a free man.
Unbelievable.
That's how we got around, man.
So well put, too. Like it was literally the phone of that time, like people can't be without their phone now. I couldn't have been without my fucking bike then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just incredible. Awesome. Like the meaning of that bike, that's something that perfectly takes me back. And you too, obviously, all of us. But just, I miss that shit. All right, Brother Mark, it's to you.
All right, this is going to be you. Okay.
That's Mark snapping a belt in case you couldn't hear it.
I don't know if that came through, but oh my God. And they meant it. They meant it. Yeah, if you were acting up, you weren't, you mouthing off or whatever, and they had the belt. And, this would be corporal punishment now. You couldn't do it, but yeah. And even Mom would do that, and she whacked us a few times when we absolutely 100% deserved it. So that is more, of a 70s, 80s thing, I would presume. It probably, I don't know.
Oh, it sure was. And let's not forget about prior to the 70s and 80s, because, boy, they really beat the kids back in the day. But disciplinary action, brother. Yeah. Absolutely. And it wasn't just our parents. It was our teachers. It was most of, if your neighbor's dad beat you, your dad would say, well, what'd you do?
Exactly.
You're not allowed to beat your own kids back then. Other people beat your kids.
Exactly. But such a good one, man, because that was also on my list. But just, it's so true. Think about it.
Yeah, that was on your list. Were you going to do the prop too, or?
I had the snap for the belt because Mom would say, "You're gonna get one of these. You're gonna get one of these." But yes, it's on there. It's getting the belt. And that's what it says on my board. But
And that fucking thing hurt, man.
oh, see, it didn't hurt me. I used to put my head in the pillow and they'd hit me and think I was crying, but I'd laugh.
Yeah, well, no, well, maybe they were, that's the baby
Maybe
in
they
the house.
backed
No,
off
I
a
got
little bit.
whacked.
Right. You're the first, so.
So just to say a quick story here, because this just talking about things that couldn't happen now. I was in 4th grade. I don't know what year that puts us in, like 78, whatever. And Mr. Fleck was his name. And I swore in his class because I was upset. And he smacked me in the mouth and gave me a bloody lip. And
oh, my God.
Yeah.
Nice. Give him a raise.
Right. Brought me to the office.
Right.
And at that point, it was Mr. Brunell. God love him. He was an amazing principal. And Mom came down and said to Mr. Brunell and Mr. Fleck, "You never lay a hand on my son. The only reason you still have a job and I'm not going to request you be fired is that I know he asked for it." And that was that,
Oh my God.
And I think there's some lines that should go with that, brother. Like you said, like, there'll be 2 hits, me hitting you hitting the floor.
And you hitting the floor.
Or I'll give you something to cry about.
Yep.
That was discipline back then. And dare I say this out loud on our podcast, boys, sometimes I wish it remained. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Great pick, brother. That's to me. This one, it's going to ride into some other things, but I guess the way I'll word this is back then, age 11 is now age 19. And what I mean by that was just like overnight weekends. I'm in 7th, 8th grade. And Friday after school, I tell Mom, I am going to the movies. Okay. And then I come home Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon at 11 years old, 12 years old. And one story, Dongo, you weren't here with us at this one, I don't think, but I'll never forget it as long as I live, because I'm pretty sure it's when we met the Prices for the first time and all those Meredith girls. But we left the movies, met those girls like outside the theater for the first time. Their older sister still their older sister, Heather, picked us all up in a Suburban and brought us out Meredith Center. And we crashed at this girl's house overnight, all pairing up with young girls at whatever, 8th grade, whatever it was exactly. Showed up home like 2 days later. And there was no, where you been? Just, assume you had a good weekend with your friends. And that was that. And F and A, man, you would never see that crap nowadays.
No.
My kid's missing for 8 minutes and I'm worried if they didn't reply to me. And it's a different world. I understand that.
Yeah.
Which really sucks for these kids now, because fuck, was that fun. And that's all I'll say about it.
You sure she wasn't crying tears of misery that you came back? David and I were like,
what do you mean crying? She didn't say a word when I got home.
I
She was
understand that,
fine.
but me and David started crying. It's like we had such a great weekend, and there he is, well.
Anyway, it was awesome. And that's something I really miss about back then. And I guess what I was saying is the kids nowadays, when I started the pick with 11 opposed to 19, is even like, older teenagers nowadays are not doing or able to do what we could do then, and it's very unfortunate. Okay, now to you, Dongo.
Hey, all right. So this one's a little weird. I might have to tie it up somehow, but it's family shows. So now with streaming, it's kind of hard to find the the Little House on the Prairie or the Waltons or those network family shows that you could sit down and watch and enjoy with the entire family. Like I can watch shows with my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, that are going to be miserable for me to watch because they're like cartoons and, you know, they're not fun for me. Sometimes some of the Disney stuff is okay to watch, but I mean, but like Little House on the Prairie, you could watch that show from age 3 to age 80 and it was something for everyone. You know what I mean?
Ow! There's a rock right there. There's a huge rock right there, and it's covered up by grass, and there's no way you can see it, and I got lucky, but someone else could hurt themselves, and a small cut is a death sentence in these times, so let's just, you know, let's get these rocks out of here.
It's so hard to find something for everyone now because any show that is cool for adults has got an F-bomb every other word, and I'm not like a pearl clutcher. You know, I don't mind language when I'm watching an adult appropriate show, but sometimes it's like Landman, there's an F-bomb every other word. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like the writers lost that ability to write dialogue without throwing F-bombs in there. And I think that's, you know, something they should consider, like, hey, maybe we're going a little overboard with the F-bombs here, you know, or the violence and the, you know. And again, I like a good action show. I like a good adult humor show, but it's like it's gone way too far to one side. And
Off the
there's
rails.
nothing you can watch with a kid that is, you know, both adult appropriate and appropriate for kids.
And on the
it's just-
same
it's just
level,
laziness.
Donald.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On the same level. Like when you're watching Little House, you're all watching the same thing and getting the same dialogue. Where now, if they do make something that's okay like that, it's this is what the kid's seeing, and here's the adult humor the adult seeing. You know what I mean? It's not you enjoying the same exact dialogue and content.
Yeah, but they used to do that in kids' shows and movies. Is they throw in a little bit of something for the
An
adults
innuendo
that the
or
kids
something,
didn't
which is
catch.
funny.
Yeah,
of course.
But
That's
you're
my
talking
point.
about you're talking about the profanity. I think some of that is like we talked about before with the movie ratings. You know, you can't put it out there and have a G rating on it because nobody will watch it. So I think they feel like they have to put those F-bombs in there to be cool. Well, no, you could actually
How many
be
does
a
it
writer.
take though to make it the R rating or the adult rating? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it's somebody's perception, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
TV mature or whatever now.
Right. What
you know.
used to be the censors.
Yeah.
Whatever they are now.
Right.
Great
Which
show
with
though,
streaming with streaming now it's a different animal. It used to be, you know, if it was beamed out over the airways, the FCC had its hand on it. Now because it's all streaming and through a cable, it does that. None of that applies now.
right.
So,
It slips through their cracks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, because you're paying for it, so it's not over the air. So it's not
free.
as
Yeah.
I don't know where that line is, or if there's still even a line of something on a streaming content that goes, you know, is there a line that they can cross, or is it just
I don't think there is anymore. They can do anything.
And then if it is a movie that is, you know, G rated, it's crap. It's just total crap, lazy writing, you know, just cookie cutter stuff that, you know, there's no creativity, I feel, anymore. You know?
There is not.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Hence all the remakes, you know?
Yeah.
Remakes. And then it's a catch-22 on the content because it's, you know, over the top and down to this. Like, in other words, mature could mean like an F-bomb or half a boob, you know, or the rest. And, it's, I don't know. It sucks.
Right. Or if it's aimed at kids, it's got a political agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
That you may or may not agree with. But
Right.
they feel like they have to push that on your kids because it's their belief.
Mm-hmm.
So
excited about Landman, though. By the way,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this show. It's a decent show. There's some great dialogue and banter in it. I think they
Great
could
actors,
they
too.
could probably have the F-bombs and still be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, Kev, that's to you.
All right. Friday night, our parents would take turns driving us to the roller skating rink. And it was the best. You were out there, tunes blaring. You could hear some Journey, maybe some Foreigner. They have the snowball, the girls on one side and the boys on the other, and skate around. And some of the guys would get picked or whatever else. But that was something that, we did. Our school somehow set something up with the roller skating rink. So for a couple hours in the afternoon on Fridays, we could all go for, it was probably $2 or something like that. And piss the guy off working the counter and order a swamp water. So he'd have to individually hit every soda on the fountain, and he'd always roll his eyes like, Jesus Christ, why can't these kids just get a Pepsi for peace sake? Now I got to do all this. But it was, it was the thing. You had to do it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, those
Which
are good
one
times.
did you go to, Kevin?
It wasn't the one you went to.
I know. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't remember the name.
No, but what town was it in?
It was in Dover.
Oh, okay. Are there any left? I mean, I still
don't
hear
know.
people go roller skating.
I mean,
once
they
in a
still
while.
have them here and there, but it's not what it was at all. And Kev, do you have anything more to say about it?
No, just it was a great time.
All right. To you, Mark.
All right. Well, okay. I'm going back to Bryan Street on this one. And, we did all our things back then. Mostly the boys and the girls did their thing. And this is after the street lights went on. So we didn't have to go home when the street lights came on. No, we stayed outside and we would all gather around said Belmore's house or whatever, and we would play hide and seek. As we got a little older, we played a game called Skip. I don't even remember the rules in it. I think you had teams, but yeah, it was just such a blast. I mean, we would just have a grand old time, and I don't know if you remember Dave Thompson, a heavy set kid, and we would have our hiding spot, which was a stupid hiding spot because we knew we'd get caught, and we would run to the hiding spot and just laugh our heads off, and it was just the funnest thing. And this went on for years, guys, and
maybe it was a good hiding spot, but your laughing gave you away.
We would just sit there. No, it was a terrible. We'd go around the Henderson's house, and I got a little story on that too. But no, I mean, we'd go around the edge of the Henderson house, and we'd get caught every time. Whatever, we had fun. But there was a very, very scary clock shop that they used to have before. I was born and everything, but there was a blood clock in there, and I didn't know that it was a blood clot. When I was a child, I thought it was a blood clock. And there was a clock in there that I think I'm like, oh my God, I think that's a blood clock. And yeah, I've told this story before to people out there, not on the show, but any cousins, they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, but what the point is when do you go outside after dark and see kids playing hide and seek anything?
You don't see anyone out after dark.
Yeah, and we're out there, and we came in when we felt like it, damn it.
Flashlight tag, Alcatraz, so many great games out there.
Pick the can, smear the nope.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Can't say that.
No.
But yeah, we had a blast, and everybody, the boys, the girls, everyone got involved, and it was just great fun. And
Awesome.
I miss it, man.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
All
The
right.
street lights was dinner, and then you went out after dinner. So
exactly.
So all these things
Well,
you see on TikTok with knowing the street lights was the time to go home, that was just for dinner, and then you got to go back out.
Yeah.
Catch fireflies, You know,
Well, not in the summertime. Dinner time was still at the same time, but
well, you know what I mean. For God's sakes, I'm
I
not
get
going to
your
go
point.
through the time zones here.
Well, so what happens around here? The sun during the summer stays in the sky a lot long. Okay, all right.
All right. So I'm going in audible. My number 2 was roller skating, Kev. So, nope, thank you. You beat me to it. But
job,
man, that was every Friday night. God, I loved it.
Why was it Friday? Because I used to go too,
It was just the night we went. But I'm going to go to an audible here for my number 2. And I'm going to, might be a little personal to me, but I believe it does stick in today's craw. And that is tryouts. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, I had to try out for Little League. And I either friggin' made it or I didn't. Okay? And then when I made it, which I did immediately, I didn't get a trophy if my team lost. Okay? So I had to prove myself to make sure I was good enough to be part of a team so that I could excel and try to better myself. And then if I lost, I lost. And you know what? There's only one winner out there. And I didn't get a friggin' trophy for losing my friggin', last game of the season.
Right.
And nowadays, there was no participation trophy. You didn't make the team if you absolutely sucked. Guess what? You're fucking either benched or you just simply don't make it. Go cry to mom. Okay? And yet, guess what? That toughened that kid up and made him practice and become better for next season so he could make the said team. Okay?
That's right.
And that fires me up greatly. So tryouts is my pick. Dongo.
Good one. I like that. Yeah.
Merit-based.
Right.
Exactly, Kevin.
I
What a
worry
concept.
somewhat about some things being merit-based, like being an airline pilot. Like, I don't want my airline pilot to just get kind of pushed through the grades and push through the oh, you didn't do well on that simulation, but we'll you try next time. Like when something's going wrong, I want them to be like, I got this. Like I'm gonna, put the computer away and fly by the stick kind of thing, So yeah, that goes along with your
brain surgeon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like my brain surgeon to.
You want
I don't
the
care how many
cocky guy.
boxes he checks as long as competency is the first one.
Right.
And then he can
Right.
be whatever color, sex, creed. I don't care.
Right.
Moss Eisley.
Right.
Competency. That's the one that
Yeah.
I'm concerned with.
Right.
And should be.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
That goes to everything, though. I don't want somebody, a bad cook, cooking my meal.
Yep.
Why does
Anything.
it
Well,
have-
of course. Any position on the planet, you should
Yeah.
be fit for the position and not
that's
be
why I
pushed
do all
there.
my
Take pride in
cooking
what
here.
you do and work at it. And yeah.
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 Mindy.
Cool. So for mine, this is one that's when I was a young kid, I used to like watching the news with my dad. I've at a young age, I would watch the nightly news, and it was a half an hour long, and you could kind of trust the news. And like now, the news has an agenda. It's it's always painted towards one team or the other, and it's
one team
manipulated. And no, I mean there's a 2-team network. But you know what I mean? So I long for the days of when you could trust something on the news, Now it's like, nope, I gotta fact check that. I gotta see what spin they're putting on it, and surf through the internet and find the truth. But because what they're feeding you on the any kind of 24-hour news, whatever,
It's just
crap.
echo
It's
chambers.
all crap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
they're-
echo
they
chamber.
are on either side.
Yeah.
You're right. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's only one team. They're just wearing different uniforms.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you look at Fox, I mean, Fox is better, more tolerable than some of the left leaning stuff. But I mean, they have their moments too, where they're preaching to their corporate sponsors as well. The military industrial complex, all that stuff. I digress.
It's their world. We're just passing through.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, off to you.
Oh, it's me? Well, I should probably
Indeed.
say something then.
Yeah. Speak.
Oh, we're going to, the greatest thing ever. Building a treehouse.
Yeah.
Of course.
I love fort building.
That was, and the great thing was building it was really almost better than hanging out in it. I mean, we still had fun hanging out in it.
The building.
But you're going through the neighborhood and you're finding lumber and you're grabbing nails from somewhere and so some furniture and some curtains, and you just brought everybody's garbage basically.
Incredible.
You brought together and you made your fort, and it was a cool place to hang out, and you spent half the summer building that, and then the other half the summer it was where you hung out.
Yep. No, I agree that building it is half the fun. Like the scavenging,
more
the
than half,
materials.
I think. Exactly.
Yeah.
Finding nails. I remember going to 18 different places to find nails.
But you're probably using like a roofing nail to like put a support beam in.
Yeah, exactly.
Finish nail.
It worked, like
a bent 16 common for this, and
right.
And
I
then
remember
the 2x4 steps that you built up the tree.
Just, I remember.
Oh
with
yes,
the cinder
I know what
block,
you're saying, AJ.
tapping on the bent nails and straightening them out with a hammer so you can use them. And
right.
Yep. As a matter of fact, I still have a scar from one where I hit the nail and a piece of the head chipped off. It must have just been a manufacturing thing. It went right into my side and under the skin. It was like it was a piece of shrapnel.
It was grenade. A nail
I still have a scar, but I think it's on my back now.
From stretching.
From fat, yes. I'm not proud.
Awesome pick, Kev. I'm so excited you took that. And parachuting out of said treehouse. Does anyone know what that is? You would run and jump off the tree fort, which was probably 4 feet off the ground back then, but we thought it was 60. And grabbing the top of a small tree while it bent over to the ground and carried you until it broke. And then you went down and hit every branch like the ugly girl. Awesome.
You know those slide for lifes that there's a high point and then a low point. Like we made one of those, but it was like clothesline rope with the clothesline wheel.
Yeah,
and I was holding on, and that thing let go midway. And like you said, it was probably 10 feet off the ground, but to me it was like 80 feet off the ground.
Hell yeah! Because a parachute. I was telling you about the tree broke halfway down and flung me back against the trunk. And then I slid down and every broken branch ripped my chest to shreds as I went down. I remember running home bawling and then having to toughen up to my friends after that because I looked like such a pussy.
That was last week?
Yeah, I think so.
I was a little boy, jackass. All right, Mark.
All right. Well, this is my number one, people. And I'm going back to my favorite time of my childhood, which was when I learned that fishing is so much fun, especially when you're either with your friends or you're alone. And my parents let me go anywhere. They didn't worry about me. I went everywhere, anywhere. I walked across waterfalls. I jumped into rivers to catch a trout that I caught and lost. I lost and went back and got. And, I would go in the morning, come home for lunch. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't have time for that. I was going fishing. And then I'd come back for lunch. Then I'd go back out. And especially one year, I remember we caught I mean, every trout I caught, I would come home clean, and I was always break the neck, AJ.
Yes.
And bring it home, put it in the freezer. I caught over 200 trout one year, and I don't think that's the best way to store it, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I even remember one time I've talked about this. Me and Ollie LaFlamme, we drove all around into different towns and everything, and caught all these beautiful fish, and it was just so much fun. And nobody cared, nobody worried. And I'm not saying they didn't care about me, but they probably were happy that I was having fun.
But that is more, yes, agreed. And hence the away from home for hours and hours. And that's the beauty of it.
I would fish right up until it was legal not to do so, or illegal to do so, or whatever.
And don't forget the danger about crossing the dam. And
yes, I walked across the waterfall and walked down this long wall that was really kind of. I got a little nervous going down there, but anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I don't see these little pencil neck geek kids going out and fishing all day.
No.
It's just something that, I mean, that's what I did. All of us did. Freddie, all of us. So that's my number one pick.
All right, brother. Nice. All right. So, Kev, the reason I was talking about the tree fort thing is I'm going with my number one, which is the most obvious one on the list out of all of us. But my audible for number one, in case one of you took it, was tree forts. So I'm very proud that I don't have to go with that one. But and it's in our opening, everyone, for the show, and it's still riding in the back of a pickup truck.
Jump in the back of the pickup truck and join us for our ride back to the good old days.
The way to think about that nowadays, and like I said earlier on, I think it was your pick, Kev, about the speed limit with the bikes on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, it was a little slower on the highway, but 55 miles an hour back then. But still, to be riding down the highway with your buddies sitting in the bed of a pickup truck, there was nothing more fun, nothing more exciting as a little boy for that to be able to happen. And the fact that our parents didn't have a care in the world and just let it go. Think about that head-on collision. We're all gone. We're doomed. But that is something that you certainly wouldn't see today. That was an absolute pleasure back then. And even into my late teens and early 20s, I remember still being able to do it legally and like going to the sandwich fair with our buddies driving. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we were drinking at that point. So that was
in the back of the
very, very, and in the front, my point being. So not the wisest decision I've ever made in my life. But just the fact that we could do that stuff, you wouldn't see it today, which I feel is a lot of the point of this exercise. So there's my number one. And to you, Donnie.
Cool. So my number one is just pretty broad, but it's just being outside.
Yep.
Not many people are getting outside like they used to. For some reason, we've been scared into staying indoors lately. Like, when did the sun suddenly change to make it so that you're going to get skin cancer immediately if you don't put slather on sunblock? Like, I used to, in the summertime, I'd be outside every single day swimming. We were lucky in the summer to have a summer cottage, and it was a true cottage. Had no running water, no insulation, nothing. But I would be out on the lake, like swimming and playing and running around. I don't think I ever put sunblock on until,
Never.
Ever.
We never did either. We put baby oil on.
Yeah, exactly. We lubed up.
Yeah. But in the wintertime, we'd put, Wonder Bread bread bags on our feet to keep our feet dry in our snow boots or whatever, and be outside in the snow. And, just for some reason now it's like, if you're going to go outside, you got to put, 10 10 things of sunblock on and reapply every 30 minutes. And, all this.
It's unreal.
I think somebody
Crazy.
just did a study that skin cancer rose with sunblock.
Yes.
That's what Valerie
Yeah,
always says.
And I don't mean to get into, diet and things like that.
Yeah, food.
But
yeah.
let me tell you something about nowadays that should reflect on that people will fucking deny till they die. But the hydrogenated oils and all of the shit that we're eating that based our own skin like we're eating a fucking turkey. I mean, like we're based in a turkey. That is, I'm telling you, it's half the problem.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, if there's a health food section in the supermarket, what's the other stuff they're selling you?
Yeah, right.
I walked into Market Basket yesterday or 2 days ago. There was a bag of Lay's potato chips. It said made with real potatoes. It was Lay's Classic made with real potatoes. What the fuck is in the other bag?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
right.
What are
Oh
those,
my
fake
God.
potatoes? What
Right,
the,
right.
know?
Are you kidding me?
Hydrogenated oils.
Mark, that says it on every bag of chips.
Right. One molecule from being plastic.
Oh, that's margarine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what we used to eat. That could have been a pick.
All the fake stuff. And
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't mean
Yep.
to go down that rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
No, but being outside, just
Damn right. On the point of your pick, Donald, is not only did we play outside, we were friggin' tossed outside and thrown outside
Yes.
and
Right.
told
Go
not
outside,
to
you
come
little
home
rat.
until
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
So we were not just, wanting to be
Oh, well,
out there.
Yeah.
We didn't have to be
Yeah.
pushed, though. That was the point.
But it
We
was like,
actually
what
wanted to
made
be
our
out
parents
there.
not worried? Because I would be worried if Margot was just out running in the woods, deep into the woods. Like I would go deep into the woods at a very young age.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I would be scared to death if she was out there. So I don't know what changed.
I was walking to school
Yeah.
in 4th grade, for
Yeah.
God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What changed
is-
is humanity and society.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like the young kid that got kidnapped in New York. That one kind of like had a ripple effect, but it's also different too because
Adam.
Is Adam Walsh?
Yeah,
I think.
Adam.
From
Might have been,
America's Most Wanted.
No, this one was prior to that. This was in.
I thought that was his son. No,
Adam
No,
was
that-
the 80s. Adam
Yeah.
was.
That was
Now
in,
it's
this
just
was in the
knowledge of
70s
it
in
now.
New York City.
Ah,
I
yeah.
hear all those stories now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think Cumberbatch did a movie based on it. But anyway, it's weird because when you think about it, our parents, like you said, get out of the house, and I'm sure it wasn't because, or maybe it was because they didn't want to see us. But I mean, I took my kid to do stuff because I wanted to have experiences, but I wanted to be around him. You know what I mean? As a parent, I wanted to experience his life. I mean, not, he still has a life and whatever else, but and it might have been because he was growing up in two households that I cherished my time with him, and our parents were like, beat it. So I'm just wondering. I don't think it was because they didn't love us, but it was just a different. And there's, like you said, there's a huge shift in the mentality and the thought process. I didn't want to be around him all the time because I was afraid somebody's going to kidnap him or whatever else.
Which is a big difference.
Right. I wanted to spend my time with my kid and experience his childhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with my kids. And back then I didn't feel a lack of love. I just I think you said it perfect. It was the mentality and the time frame and just how shit happened, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
Strange.
All right, Kev, wrap it up.
All right. So my number one is simply this: using your imagination.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just using
I
your
like that.
imagination.
Yeah.
Now you got a
Yeah.
video game, you got a PlayStation or an Xbox, and it's all designed for you. And all you have to do is push buttons. Well, we had to go out and imagine that we were cowboys and Indians, that we were aliens, that we were whatever else.
Squidward, we don't need television. Not as long as we have our imagination. With imagination, I can be anything I want. A pirate. Arr. A football player. Hop.
A starfish.
Patrick, you're already a starfish.
See, Squidward, it works.
You had to actually think of stuff that entertained you. You had to find a way to be entertained because there wasn't a screen to do it for you. And that's when we built the forts. We built the bike ramps for jumps. We played in the woods. We played in junkyards. I remember, it's funny. This is my earliest Kiss memory for you Kiss fans. Kid down the street from me, his dad was a gearhead. He had a couple of beat up, non-functioning cars behind the house. And we used to put on concerts jumping on these cars at 7 or 8 years old. And that was rock and roll all night.
And that was your imagination doing that.
We were, we were giving a concert and lip syncing and screaming out to the fans. Whereas now you go buy the Rockstar video game and push buttons and pretend you can play guitar or something.
Oh, you mean
whatever.
what is that? Guitar
Rock
Hero?
Band.
Yeah.
A rock band. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Kevin, you mentioned that. We used to play that either Cowboys, Indians, or Army Man all the time, and I'm surprised they had forgotten that. And that was kids using their imagination, like you said, and and they don't really do that all that much, I don't think. I mean, everything's even sports.
They don't use their imagination, period, now.
Right. Yeah.
It's you have organized sports. You don't. I mean, you do here and there. You'll see a kid shooting a ball out in playing basketball in their yard, but it's not like it used to be where you'd drive by and see people playing wiffle ball or even baseball or football or any of those things. No. Right now, it's just all controlled, if you will.
No, right. It's not even necessary. Yeah, but just they don't have the drive to do any team-oriented activities. And Kevin, to your point with the imagination, it made me think of something you had said in the past about the vacant houses and the shit we would play in those places with our imagination and just, pretend this is a haunted house today.
Right.
Tomorrow, this is our fort for the Army War, and just incredible.
You were scared of ghosts and apparitions, but really the fear should have been for rusty nails that you were going to step on.
Exactly.
Tetanus was real.
Exactly.
Ghosts, not so much.
Tetanus. Exactly. Well, awesome, boys. Yeah, that was fun too. And that's why we do this, just to take us back. And there's a lot of categories we could stem off of this too, where just things we may have owned and some of the lines that people said, and maybe those will come out down the road. But for now, thank you, boys.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good times. Good times.
Yes. And listeners out there, thank you so much for listening. Just seeing the downloads go up and everything and the contacts, and we can't appreciate that enough. So thank you so much. And we are out.
Dial this number now. I've got some tales to tell. Freddy's favorite bedtime stories. Dead time stories. All brand new. Straight from my boiler room to your home. It's Freddy Krueger on your phone. So dial this number now if you dare. Tell him Freddy sent you.
$2 the first minute, 45 cents each additional minute. Children, get your parents' permission before you dial.
You've been listening to Pastimes at 80s High. Our passion is the nostalgia from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. When times were more simple, times were more fun.
Hey, bud, let's party.
And we weren't stuck in our phones all day.
Inconceivable!
We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, you can send an email to pastimes@80shigh@gmail.com and hit the website at pastimes@80shigh.com. See you next time.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.